Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your tweener here. We just did the breakfast bankroll. A little too early to be the midday market report, but that's what we're going to call it. It's our weekly trip to the Windy City with our very special guest, good friend, family member, Mr. Colton Sroka, aka the mid-major king. But I'm looking around right now and I don't see any hoops. So he will be our Wrigley Field Cubbies temperature taker, as I'd like to say. We are going to get a live update, and it's funny. He is now the first game of the season, the opener of openers. There he is with the Cubbies on the desk. Um, since the Sox and Yankees were postponed, he is the headliner. He is the first game of the season, and he's got to be fired up. We're excited for him as his, the temperature on the Bulls right now has got to be fading. As Melo has shut it down, and the Celtics just walked in there and opened up a can. But that's that. We're not talking Bulls today. Michael is not walking through that door, but the Cubs are. And so let's bring him on. I know he's fired up. He needs no coffee. He needs no introduction. But let's bring him onto the stage himself. The one, the only, Mr. Colton Sroka.
We're singing now, go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go. Hey, Jeff Dawson, it's opening day and the Cubs are gonna win today. Let's go. The Cape Cod Connection, hopefully now the Cubby King, live in prime time with you. I was going to say, I don't think it's the midday market report, but I saw it flash across the screen, so that's what we'll call it. Maybe you're having your Bloody Mary somewhere getting ready for first pitch here at 1:20 Central. My friend, my honor and pleasure to stop by. Thank you so much for having me. Can't wait to talk all things Cubs. You see, I got the jerseys, I got the hat. I'm ready to rock and roll, and then also talk everything MLB too. We got plenty to dive into, my friend.
So, I mean, there's nothing better than this week, as we've talked about. It is the busiest week, hands down, of the year. We close out Sunday. Not many people talk, obviously, about it, but I do. The women's championship with South Carolina rolls. And then Monday, a classic with Kansas and Carolina. A tale of two halves, obviously, there. And then 2 days of crunching, getting ready for the Masters and opening day. Mother Nature, who is undefeated still, has wiped out 2 games, but that's okay. We still have plenty on the board. And what better spot for us here at ECSI than to be talking live with someone that is in the Windy City? So let's hear the temperature. Let's get the it's opening day, so we know everyone's fired up.
Right.
Okay, we get that. But give us a temperature of the city and expectations for the Cubs, and then we'll talk about today's matchup between Burns and Hendricks.
You know, I think with how the season ended last year, expectations are almost not there. I don't even know if there are any expectations. And I almost like it better that way, at least for myself personally. Personally speaking, and kind of some of the Cubs fans that I'm close with either through Twitter or my personal friends, it's just kind of what the temperature feels like. And just, the reason why I say I almost like it better that way is because when everybody's talking about the Cubs or Ricketts doing this or they got this pitching rotation or doing that, or maybe I'll talk about the pitching matchup today and nobody talking about it whatsoever. But some certain things like that, when nobody is talking about the Cubbies, they seem to just kind of move and shake and put up a W here. Let's fly the flag today, fly the flag tomorrow. Let's get a sweep here. Maybe we drop one, then we get another sweep. I don't know. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse because, like I said, I told you last week, I think I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm very excited about this season. I love the lineup that we have. I think the lineup is being extremely, extremely underrated right now. I'm not saying that this pricing on the money line today isn't accurate, but I'm not also going to tell you that the Cubbies don't have a shot to win this one on opening day for sure. So I'm excited. The city's excited. I can't speak for the wrong side of the city, the South Siders. I can only speak for the Ivy dwellers. That is, hey, had to get my shot in. Appreciate all of you guys if you're South Siders out there. But it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. We got 162 to tackle, and it starts today.
Now, just off of the top of my head, I know Brian was not there last year. We know Schwarber had already left the building. Javier Baez. Now,
Tigers.
tough to gauge. Meaning, I like to say a lightning rod. I mean, full of emotion. Just a fired up guy. Will he be missed?
Big time. Big time. I already know he's being missed because there's some guys that are already wearing El Mago on their shoes. El Mago is going to be a Chicago guy for his life. I hope he eventually comes back and finishes his career in Chicago, but I don't know if he will or not. I hope the same for Riz. I hope the same for KB. I doubt Schwarber will. There's a weird part of me that feels like Schwarber and KB, or most likely Rizzo and KB will come back. But there's also just this weird part of me that does feel like Javi will come back. He is obviously, like you said, he's a roller coaster as far as being in the box. On the field, no problem whatsoever. You're going to see plays every single game that are going to end up on SportsCenter Top 10. It's just how it is. It's what you get from the guy. But he has never been able to fix that uppercut hack, especially when he's in a 3-1 count and he gets a ball up at his eyes. He lights up and he hacks through it, and then he's got 3-2, and they throw him that classic 12-6 curve, maybe the 10-7, and then all of a sudden, here he is again with he's got a garden hose is what it looks like down there. So, yeah, he's going to be missed. His bat, those ankles, no, for sure, but just him as a player, like, Detroit's going to love him in the 6-hole. Whew.
When you wake up every morning and you get your baseball board, does your eyes automatically flock to the Cubbies? How does that brain, how do you, for me, Boston, a diehard Red Sox fan, kind of get a feel the night before, like they were, it was funny because the Cole versus Evaldi number behind the scenes was like 180, and I know that number was just it just bags of Red Sox money because the value would have been on Evaldi. So they technically opened at 140, knowing that they're going to get some Yankee money first, and then it'll go back and forth.
Right.
When you're stepping into your lanes and you're evaluating your daily card, how does the Ivy get in front of your eyes? Is that an automatic, even though you're not going to play them every day, but do you pick a side in your mind every day? Like, hey, this is a good spot. This isn't a good spot. How does that work, Colton?
I think the simple answer is yes. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm a homer, but I'm thinking about something that my good friend Dan Alexander at Newbie Talk said to me one time of the Cash Consideration Show. He said to me, if you're not betting on your team, what are you doing? Like, you know your home team better than anybody knows your home team. That whole classic, like, in football, you can't bet your home team. Like, I guess I kind of buy into that. I don't like to bet on the Bears. But when it's 162 games, you're looking across an MLB schedule, and you have a guy like Kyle Hendricks stepping on the bump today that is game in and game out, regardless of if it's opening day. Game in and game out. Actually, it's better that it's opening day. He shows up on that bump on opening day and deals. Now, maybe that kind of gives you a little bit of a hint of where I might be going today. But I also will probably look tomorrow and be very tentative with Stroh on the mound, especially if the Cubbies take care of business today. But that's because I know my Cubbies. I know my Cubbies start off hot. I would not be surprised to see them start 4-2, 5-1, something crazy. People are not talking about them at all. I would not be surprised to see them build a 4 or 5 game lead in the Central to kick things off. I actually have the Pirates upsetting the Cardinals today. So I think a lot of stuff is going to be interesting in the Central. But what I also know, again, going back to you know your team better than anybody, is that they start to drink Choke, the official drink of the Chicago Cubs, come September, October, and it is over with. Sometimes this stands for completely useless by September, and I know it, I understand it, I embrace it. It comes with the territory of being a Cubs fan, but I'm telling you, early on in the season, What happens is everybody remembers that. What have you done for me lately? They look at the last 365. They look at Hendricks struggling. They look at that Cubs lineup saying, the Cubs are shit. They didn't do nothing. They're going to. It's what the Cubs do every year. They come in on fire. They come in hot. They come in playing ball. We're back at the Federal Landmark today, baby. It's little things like that, like picking up on. But will I have a play on the Cubs every single day? No. Do I have a play on the Cubs today? Yes. Is it for the full game? No. Is there a prop? Yes, sir. But I will definitely take that into account with going forward. And I will automatically tell you, there's days where I will see the line. I'm like, yep, Cubs are losing today. And if it's like, oh, why are you being so pessimistic? I'm like, I just gamble. I know how to read MLB lines. I've gambled multiple MLB seasons at this point in time. I know what the hell I'm doing. They're going to lose today. And then they do. So I don't know. I guess in a nutshell, I tried to make it simple, but not. I guess in a nutshell, yeah, they definitely come across my radar every day, but I do try to avoid them more often than not. I try to talk myself out of them, right? If that kind of makes sense. I know so much about the pitchers, the lineups. I try to talk myself out of making a play. And today I just simply couldn't.
And it's so good. I'm glad that you're saying that because you're speaking my language, because I can wake up every day and I can look right into the Red Sox line and say, nope.
Yep,
nope,
not a chance.
no chance. And people will look at you like you got 10 heads. What are you talking about? No chance.
That's great value. They're winning today.
I can read this board. I said Helen Keller could have read this board today. They're not winning.
Oh, I've seen it a million times. I know. I'm glad I'm speaking your language. I'm glad we kind of view the MLB in the same way as, at least from our favorite teams. That's maybe we'll have to pencil something in. I've always wanted to see the Green Monster. I've always wanted to stop by old Boston, see the harbor, all that, everything in between. And I know we got to get you the Federal Landmark. So maybe we do a little vice versa. We do a little something. I mean, we got 162 to figure it out. Another couple months here.
Absolutely. I will make note of that. Nothing better than Fenway Park, small city, but so much to take in, and on game day especially. Mr. Lucky and Bernie were talking about the Caskin flag, and then you walk up the hill and you get that feel. They shut down those streets, and then once you walk into the park and you walk up the ramp, and there is the Green Monster, and my hair rises, and I've made that walk since '75.
A game so beautiful.
Oh. And it's still, I still get chills. So
you're freezing up a little bit on me, but you're back.
Wrigley Field is definitely on the hit list. So I'm going to take you up on that one. So right. I'm going to bring the board up. Here we go. The first time this year, we have the MLB board, and I am going to
look at that, baby.
Compliments of our friends at wagertalk.com. Go click the link and hit free odds, and there you go. As you can see, Boston and the Yankees and Seattle, Minnesota postponed. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games for your exciting opening day adventures, I'd like to say. So the board is all yours, Colton.
All right, my friend. Well, I'm going to start things off with the first one up on tap. We're going Cubbies Brewers here today. And for my first best bet of the day, first best bet of the MLB season, I'm taking the Chicago Cubs, first 5 plus a half. And because I think it is getting absolute ridiculous value. Everybody and their brother, since I woke up this morning, Jeff, they have been on Milwaukee on the money line, the first 5 money line. So much so that in a first 5 prop market, it has steamed from right around minus 170 to about minus 200 across the market. Now, that is the first thing that tripped my trigger, just saying, nah, it doesn't see that much action in the first 5 for that to be that type of movement. That's number one. But number two, if everybody's so convinced that they win and are willing to take the money line in the first 5 at that type of eat 2 bills worth of chalk on the odds, then why don't they just go to the minus a half in the first 5 and eat the minus 130? because they're not confident in it, because they know this is going to push out, because they know this is a coin flip when it comes down to the Brewers and the Cubs. And the Brewers just won the last first 5, and it's been 365 days since they've had an opportunity to do that, and I am not buying it. It's a setup for every expert that is giving you Milwaukee Brewers on the money line. We do not play to push. We play to win, and that's why we're taking the plus half today. We're getting a ridiculous pricing on this first 5. Like I told you, the plus a half, plus 108 last time I saw it. So you're still getting a little plus money. It's actually dropped down. It was around plus 116 last night. And then last thing, I already said it right here, Jeff. Before I kind of get into this pitching matchup and some of the things that sold me, everybody's saying, the Cubs suck, man. The Cubs are terrible. You see how they finished last year. Hendricks, the first time he's had over a 4 ERA. He struggled. He's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. What have you done for me lately? It's simply what the Cubs do. They finish the season terrible, and they start season strong. I am 150% banking on that, if not damn near guaranteeing that's how that happens. And speaking of the pitching matchup, speaking of that, the Cubs suck, the Hendricks sucks, all of that, I am not buying it. I think everybody is sorely mistaken today. They are thinking Hendricks is going to get tattooed, especially with the wind blowing straight out to right. Obviously, we know in the friendly confines, that's where the ball likes to fly with power hitters, but I do not think we have to worry about that here today, because guys in the early season who struggle are guys who struggle locating their fastball or locating it in good positions. They throw that meatball, they put it over the heart of the plate. That's not something you got to worry about with Hendricks. The four-seam fastball is his third best pitch, and he only throws it 17% of the time. He focuses way more on the sinker and the change and then dropping the curve in there, and that's exactly what we're going to see today. He has been dominant left, right, and center, 3-2 against the number for the first 5 plus a half. The last 5 opening series against Milwaukee. The 2 losses were in Milwaukee, and he got plastered early in 2019, and in 2018, they lost in the bottom 5. And again, that was in Milwaukee. So a lot of weird little things that caused that to be 3-2. I think they'd be 5-0 to the first 5 plus a half. Last but not least, the opposite side guy, Corbin Burnes. Yes, I know he's damn good. The Milwaukee Brewers are 3-2 against the number, the first 5 minus a half, in the last 5 games against the Cubs. Now, with him on the bump. Now, I could have not told you about that, but I mentioned it because it is literally a coin flip, and nobody wants to take the minus a half. They're all on the money line, and I truly believe that this game is going to be tied after 5. The last time he faced the Cubs, actually in Milwaukee, the Brewers tied it up in the bottom of the 5th after leading 2-3 for the first 4 innings. I'm just trying to paint this picture for you, my friends. I started looking all the way through this, and I couldn't believe it. The Cubs still covered that first 5 plus a half. I tried not to get involved. I tried to tell myself this was the wrong side, but the value they are presenting early on in the season, with everybody talking about the last 365 days when we're into a brand new season on opening day, I simply can't buy, my friends. First best bet of the day, coming from your boy. Go Cubs, go. Chicago Cubs, first 5 plus a half.
So many people in social media land, TikTok land, that's where I go now for comedy. And there's just so many experts out there, and it's comical. My question to you about that game is that the over under was 10 and a hook, and everyone knew about the wind. This morning it's 9 over, juice minus 115. You are there in the windy city. What's going on with the wind, and why is that total drop a run and a half?
Give me the under. It's going to stay under today. I think there's more value on the Cubs just because what you're getting, and I think you're going to have less of a sweat with it with the play that I dished out. Yes, it is about 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing dead out to right, but the problem is it's still cold in the Windy City. It's not hot summer ball. The ball is not going to be jumping off the bats. And I'm telling you right now, maybe one goes out, Corbin Burnes makes a mistake. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He makes a mistake because, simply put, Kyle Hendricks does not make mistakes against the Brewers early on in the season, and I just don't see it happening today. I'll actually talk about it in my next best bet of the day, but that's kind of what's going on. It's simply just not warmed up yet, and I just don't see the ball jumping off the bat. That's why you're seeing boatloads of money coming in on the under, yet this bad boy is dropping down. So I would be willing to take it all the way down to under 7.5. I see kind of like a 4-2 game.
So Cubs plus a half, plus 108, first play for Colton of the MLB season.
Yes, sir.
What's next?
So we're going to stick in that game, And I think Kyle Hendricks is just being ridiculously disrespected in this spot. We're going to go to his K prop, and I'm going to take over 3.5 Ks. I told you that he's, in my last analysis, he has opened up the series for the Brewers. He has been the starting pitcher for the opening series against the Brewers for the last 5 seasons, maybe even more than that. But I just look back the last 5 seasons going back to 2017, and he's actually gone over this number in 4 out of 5 of those. 2017, he had 6. 2018, he had 1, but that was one of his worst years he's pitched, how he started. 2019, 4. 2020, he had 9, and then 2021, he had 6. I like him to be closer to that 5-6 number. I think he gets at least 4 here today because he typically does get at least that against Milwaukee. Everybody is expecting them to plaster him, and even if they do get a few hits, even if he gives up 4 or 5 hits today, he's still going to put the Ks on the board. Last 8 games against Milwaukee, he put up 3, 4, 6, 6, 7, 9, 5, and 4. That's going all the way back to the start of 2019, and only one of those he was under 3.5 in the last 8 games against the Brewers. He strikes them out. They are not good sinker ball hitters, and if he has that bad boy working today, which I am banking on it, he is going to get the job done for us. He averages 5.33 Ks per game against the Milwaukee Brewers, and we're getting 3.5. That's just simple math. I didn't even have to run too many things on my model for this thing. This is easy money. I think we see at least 4, and I'm glad you mentioned it. The wind may be blowing out, but the balls are not going to be carrying here today, point blank period. Even if we get into the 4th, into the 5th, and actually, I'm not even really worried about that. I don't think guys are even really going to be putting that much contact on balls here today, let alone really letting him carry. I just think Hendricks is going to be dominant. I know he's going to be dominant. He just opens up the season dominant against the Brewers, and this line is purely based off of last season and how he closed last season above a 4 ERA. Not how he's going to start this year, and I think we're getting crazy value on it. Plus money again, Kyle Hendricks over 3.5 Ks at plus 106. Second best bet.
I can send you Jackie Bradley Jr. for the game if you want. I don't know why we still. Oh my God, we send Hunter Renfroe to the Brewers for JBJ. Are you bleeping kidding me? I mean, the strikeout king. He can't bat his weight. Great defensive guy. No, absolutely zero problems about it. I think there was more going on with Hunter in the dugout, and he has kept showing off that cannon, and they had enough, and they were like, Hunter, tone it down, we're getting you the hell out of Dodge, and that's what they did. So that will be missed there at the end of that lineup for the Brewers and the strikeout prop, but I like where your eyes are. Hendricks is one of these silent assassins where I remember even last year, quietly on the bump, he's there in the 9th inning with 11 strikeouts. Not that he's going to go 9, and today none of these pitchers will, but I like where your eyes are, Colton.
The professor, I think he takes the boys to school today.
All right, what's next?
One more that I'm taking straight, and then I got a little 3-leg parlay. Every Thursday on my daily show, I do the triple play parlay. That is the special play of the day. So I'll have that for you every MLB Thursday, or every Thursday I join you here. We'll have the triple play parlay. So I got that to dish out for you too. But we're going to rotation number 981, 982. Actually, next one up on, well, I guess not exactly up on tap, but right around in there. We got the Guardians going up against the Royals. You got Shane Bieber going up against Zach Greinke. I'm looking at the first 5 again, my friend. Not that I don't like the Royals for the full game. I just think we're getting a little bit better value. Excuse me. On the first 5, and the price is right where I usually like to take it. So we're going to take the Guardians on their first 5 money line, getting minus 140 odds on that. They are the favorites on the money line. I'm honestly just all over the Guardians at this price. That minus 130, minus 140 is the exact spot that I love to back teams on the first 5, especially when they're favored. And Cleveland's been handling business in the last 5 meetings against Kansas City. Last 5 overall, Cleveland is 3-0-2 to the money line. They had 2 pushes, but those were in Kansas City. Oh, hey, those are today. I think everybody's kind of banking on, or they're in Kansas City today. I think everybody's kind of banking on that happening again, and I just simply don't see it because in the last 10, they're 5 5-3-2 regardless of location. So I like the Guardians to at least get the job done, and I think that's going to be because Zach Greinke makes a mistake. But I'll get into him in a minute. Let's stick with Shane Bieber first and stick with the track on the Guardians. Bieber has just absolutely mowed down Royals over the course of his career against them so far. He's only pitched 3 games, but he's gone 15 1/3 innings. He's had 134 at-bats faced against this current lineup, only allowed 16 hits, 22 Ks, 245 average against him with a 326 OBP and a 715 OPS. So he's been able to handle them pretty damn well. Obviously, that OPS is a little bit higher than you'd like to see it, but a 715 with 134 ABs is nothing that you can't get over and be able to back. The reason why I really like Bieber over Greinke is because I think Greinke's numbers are just a little inflated or deflated, however you want to look at it. They look really good on the top line, but that's just because he has a very small sample size against this lineup. He has pitched 2 games against them, 13 innings, but he's only had 57 at-bats in total. 10 hits allowed, 12 Ks, 125 average, 156 OBP, and a 337 OPS. So I know extremely good numbers, but I really think we see some regression on those here today because all of those were with the Astros, and there's a reason the Astros are willing to send him to Kansas City. I'm not sure what that's for. I know that's his original team. I know that's the team that drafted him. I don't know if they're trying to make some original, hey, here we go, make a run for it. But I just simply don't believe that Zach Greinke is going to be the answer to the Royals' prayers. So that's kind of my thoughts all the way across the board. I think the Guardians take care of this one rather handily in the first 5. I think what we're going to see is Zach Greinke make a mistake out over the heart of the plate against a freshly paid Jose Ramirez. He just got a $400 million bag, a huge bag yesterday, and I think he absolutely shows out here today. I think that's either him or Franmil Reyes. Franmil Reyes has 2 career home runs against Greinke, and why not on opening day in Kansas City? So there you go. There you have it. My third and final best bet, straight bet of the day, play for 1 unit, money management. This is a 162-game season. This is my PSA. Please gamble responsibly. We have a boatload of games to get through. I know today is going to be fun. Play a lot of action, but please stick to your units. 1 unit or even a half a unit. If you're playing more plays outside of my play, you're hearing this, you like them, you like the value, play a half unit. Don't get wild, don't get crazy, because we got a lot of games still to get under the belt. So, it's my PSA for you, my disclaimer here today, and my third and final straight best bet of the day, Cleveland Guardians. That's going to be fun to try and say. First 5 money line for you here today.
And I'm glad you're on that side. I had my 1 swing at the high stakes fantasy baseball on Tuesday with my buddy Sean Childs, who will be on Friday afternoon as we debut our first fantasy daily baseball show, where we'll have Sean, who works for Sports Illustrated, writes all their baseball and football content. We're going to put together a swing on every Friday, chance to win some money, and he's going to talk his experience in the DFS world, and he's going to help everyone hopefully cash some big tickets throughout the year on Fridays. But we had our $2,500 swing in the Super against 15 teams. We had our draft on Tuesday, and we had the 15th pick, of course. So we had 15 and 16, and took Kyle Tucker at 15, and we came back with Shane Bieber at 16. So
very nice.
We're on the Bieber train.
Very nice. Let's go. Bieber with 22 Ks and 3 appearances against this Royals lineup. I think he comes back this year dominant as all hell. Shout out my guy, Brandon Russell of the Dakota Cappers podcast network. Been a long time since I connect with him. We usually connect this time of the year. He's a big Cleveland Guardians fan, big West Virginia fan. We connect on that, and he's a big when they were the Indians, now the Guardians. He's a huge Bieber fan. You'll see him. I'll be going back and forth with him, so you'll see some stuff. We always go back and forth when Bieber pitches. So there you go. There you have it, man. I am excited. I guess I can dish out a little triple play action for you, too. I won't take as much time. I'll just dish out the legs for you here.
No, we're good. We're good.
I guess we do got time. It's only 9:30. I thought I was being windy over here. I'm just excited. I'm over the moon on MLB starting. I thought I was talking more than you. Only 9:30. Shit, we got time. All right. Well, with that being said, then I'll dish these out. So, I got a 3-legger, calling it triple play parlay. How about that? You know me, creative ability. It's paying out about 490 odds, plus 490, plus 485, depending on where you're kind of locking it in at. But I really like this one. I think we start the year off early, really cashing one of these. Oh, and something just came to my mind. I believe also the Cubbies are at this price here today. With me just seeing it, it just popped back to my mind. I want to go back just real quick before I dish this out. With the Cubbies being at this price today, especially on the first fives, on the money lines, do not be surprised to see them win this game outright. And every Chicago Cubs fan or Illinois bettor to be losing their minds and just absolutely wanting to hammer them in every single day. Because I feel like the first week, the books are really going to prime the public up here in Chicago, allowing the Cubbies to have some serious value and bring us some tickets. And I will let you know when we got to pull the plug, I promise you, because I think eventually they're going to start smacking them in the mouth, and it's just what I saw last year. So I think that's what is kind of the theory, the madness behind this pricing on some of those lines, and it just popped into my head. So I wanted to mention that to you.
And that is a great point, Colton, because what happens is fans become fanatics. They're frenzied, and we get too much of the helium. And you know, you say in the back of your mind, well, if we beat Burns on opening day, we're gonna beat Woodruff on the second day. So bring on Peralta, and I don't care if you're minus 130. We're winning.
And then you want to talk about Lauer? Come on. If we got through Burns, we can get through Lauer. Yeah, I already hear it now. I mean, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. That is the thought track. I think the books are going to butter up some Chicago faithful here for the first few days, and then they're going to get smacked back down to the floor. So I think we can take advantage of it today with the prof on the mound. But call me crazy. First leg on this triple play parlay. We're going to another AL or NL Central matchup. I apologize. Matchup between the St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals. Sorry, excuse me. And the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mainly because I think the Cardinals are way overvalued here today. I talked about it the last 2 days, actually on my NL Special Edition, about this rotation being lackluster at best in St. Louis and very, very, very questionable. I'm not all the way sold on this last hurrah, last stand to the pennant, last stand to the World Series with Wainwright, Pudgeloose, and Molina. I'm really not buying it. And I think they're overvalued today, and the books are showing me that I am on the right side. This bad boy opened up about plus 180 Pirates on the money line. It is now down to about plus 140 across the market. Different spots, steamed down, trickling back up to that original number. It's back to like plus 155, plus 160, plus 170 again on FanDuel, but it's slowly trickling up. I'm not going to give you the money line, even though I am very, very confident in that. I'm going to take the plus 1.5. I'm going to say plug your nose, take the plus 1.5. Be anticipatory of a very, very, very disgusting game, but also be anticipatory of getting this bad boy, this first leg, right to the pay window. I don't think it's going to be that much of a sweat. I just think it's going to be a nasty game that you might not want to tune into. So I think the Pirates are being undervalued here today, and I think they come out, especially with JT Brubaker. People undervalue him as well, and he's had some good success against the Cardinals in his career. So there's leg number one. Leg number two. I'm anticipating a majority of the public to look at this last matchup because, wouldn't you know, both these teams' last game was against each other in spring training. I'm talking about the New York Mets and the Washington Nationals, and the Nationals put the smackdown on the Mets. I'm not worried about that. Even though this game is in Washington, Patrick Corbin is on the mound. He is a walking, ticking time bomb of giving up runs. There is no way I am backing him, regardless of if it's in the first five or the full game. I'm a big fan of Taylor McGill. I'm a big fan of this Mets bullpen. I think the Mets are going to have plenty of success offensively, too. A lot of people are talking about the over. It's dropped down from 9.5 to 9, but getting the juice around minus 124. So very, very interesting there. But I am going to take the Mets on the full game money line. We're going to take a minus 124 Mets full game money line second leg. And then third and final leg, just because I think this is going to be a sweat and a half electricity to get us right to the pay window. It's Framber time, baby. We're taking the Houston Astros first 5 plus a half. It's Framber Valdez up against Shohei Ohtani. I think this line should be a lot longer if Shohei was really going to be dominant and deal like he should be. This minus a half should not be at plus money whatsoever. He should shut them down. I think he makes a mistake or two. Not saying he's going to have a terrible outing. I just think he's going to make a mistake or two against this Houston team just to start the year. And maybe we see a 1-1, a 2-1, maybe even Houston leading it outright, but we don't need them to. We just need them to keep it tied. So third and final leg, Houston Astros on their first 5 money line plus a half. One more time. Pittsburgh Pirates plus 1.5 for the full game. New York Mets on the money line for the full game. And the Houston Astros on the run line for the first 5 at plus a half.
I love where your eyes are. It's funny. The hour before, myself and Scott on the breakfast bankroll, I was breaking down the board, and just from strictly the eye test, you hit my 2 games. Mets with McGill opened at 135. Public jumping all in. Corbin, Corbin tends to be a lightning rod there, and of course, all the public was looking for was DeGrom. Or they were looking for Scherzer, and they're like, who the hell's this McGill guy? So good eyes there. And it's funny, Houston, L.A., as I talked to Scotty about this 10 days ago, a week ago, we were all giddy for Verlander versus Shohei. And I was going to be fading Verlander. I love Shohei in that spot. Now they limp in Valdez, and Shohei goes to 120 line dropping. I'm all over Valdez as well. So great eyes there as well there. But you hit upon something that I want to close here with is this. For people that poo-poo baseball, it's too slow. I can't bet on it. There is a million ways to invest and wager on a baseball game. You got full games. You got half games. You got run lines. You got team totals. I mean, the list is endless. But people just shake their head and they're like, well no.
Most electric bet in all of baseball. I'll say my point and I'll rest my case, Your Honor. MLB betting is boring. Please slide on over to the prop market between the Chicago Cubs and the Milwaukee Brewers today. Please go to the first inning prop market and check out the value on the Nerfy and the Yerfy. No runs first inning, yes runs first inning. And you tell me if you are not trying to remove the corn cob, for lack of a better term, by the time that bet has done either making it to the window or not. And by the time that 1 inning is over, I guarantee you're going to say, well, shit, why didn't I get involved in the first 5 and try and pick a side? Because when you only have 15 outs to play with, my friends, the game of baseball becomes a lot more fun, and then you start to see a lot of different perspectives and angles, and like you said, Jeff, then you can start to dive into a lot more of these prop markets. You can see stuff like you said, I don't think Hendricks is going to go 9 today, but he could mess around and go 6 or 7 and be very, very comfortably into a 6, 7, or 8K ball game. I'm just saying, man, there is so much value in the MLB, and now that college basketball is over, so I guess I got two disclaimers here. Everybody is an expert now. Everybody coming out of the woodwork is an absolute expert. I see this cycle every year, being in the space for a good amount of time now. When a new season starts, all these new experts come out and, hey, buy my 50-unit Mega Whale Bookbuster 5000, yada, yada, yada. And if you're seeing those today, please do me a favor. Just listen to the guy who's giving you free plays out of the goodness of his heart and wants to meet you at the cage. Don't go spending money on those doggone things. Don't waste your time and energy not having fun at the end of the day when you're losing a bet and then throwing money and then, oh, maybe because they've hit their last 50 plays. I don't know. Let me see the last 50 before that. I don't know. Just be careful with who you're listening to because experts are coming out of the woodworks left, right, and center here today. And outside of that, I don't know what my second disclaimer was. I guess just stick to your bankroll. Be safe. Yeah, that's what it was. With all these additional markets, yeah, there's all these additional fun things you can get involved in, and you will see me get heavily involved almost every single day. But it's because I do it smart. Stick to your units. If you are maybe only a quarter unit on a Nerfy. Like, maybe it is not the most valuable play. Maybe if you are a $100 player, you don't put $100 on that Nerfy, you put 25. You stick to your units. You stick to your bankroll. If you are on a down day, do not come back the next day betting the same exact unit. 2% of your bankroll. Please, 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 because we want you here the whole 162 and we want you cashing tickets with us. But we're not going to tell you, and at least me, I can't speak for Mr. Dawson because he's a ticket cashing machine, but I'm not going to tell you there won't be days here that I'll find myself in the red. There will be days. It happens. It is the game of baseball. It is the game of sports gambling. But what I can tell you is if you stick to your units, if you stay tried and true to what we're telling you to do, I guarantee you're going to have a profitable MLB season, and I cannot wait.
And to piggyback off of that, guys, do not get caught up in social media with the hype train that I like to say. FanDuel, DraftKings, Barstools, all these other big companies with these 10, 15, 20-legged in-game parlays. $10 turns into, 20,000. And then they'll Photoshop one, or one will actually hit, because they do hit on occasion.
Sure.
But the one that hits, they don't show you the 999,000 that are on the ground, that are confetti, that are beer holders now. So if you do 990,000 times $10, okay, so they make their money there and they cash out the one that made for 20,000. Just don't get caught up in it. And secondly, don't get caught up if you played the 1 o'clock game and lost, and then you played the 4 o'clock game and lost, and now you're at the 7 and you're at the 9, and then you're
Stop.
like, oh my
Stop.
God. Exactly.
100%. I agree. Don't ever chase. That is the worst thing you can do with MLB, because there will be the 120 first pitch and then the 315 first pitch. And if you get involved early on the 120 and then, oh my gosh, the line's not moving good on the 315, holy shit, I could be in real trouble here soon. And then you end up dropping 2 more units on your evening game, the 735 first pitch. And then next thing you know, you're down 4 units on the day when you could have controlled the damage, only lost a unit and a half. Now you're trying to scramble, figure out tomorrow how the hell you're going to come back from a 4-unit loss day when you could have just bit the bullet and said, hell, it is what it is. So
that's it. Being able to pull the plug, not getting caught up in the quicksand. And as Colton and I have both said, it's 162 games. And as I always close on this show, and you'll hear in about 1 minute, okay, we want you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. Okay? It's a marathon. Hey, listen, look at your feet right now. If your Nikes or your New Balances got holes in them, run to finish line. Go online, get yourself a new pair of sneakers. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the marathon. Buckle up. It gets bumpy, but we're here for the long run, not the short run. This scroll has been going on now for 43 minutes and 2 seconds. Colton Sroka at Colt TTL Sports at Talking the Line, a.k.a. the mid-major king of NCAAB, and now the Cubby King for the next 162 days. The stage is yours. Tell everyone where they can find you.
My friend, first things first, it's always an honor and pleasure to come here and hang out with you on Thursdays. We clip down 42 minutes like nobody's business. It's like we've known each other our entire lives. We've had conversations on the back end, and we connect much deeper than a lot of this surface stuff. So I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, and just to say that in front of everybody, like you're my man. I appreciate the hell out of you for sure. So you want to follow me, and you like negativity, you like toxicity, you like venom spewing, do not follow me. Always like to say that disclaimer. I am not of the bullshit of this world and of our space. I find it is my duty to have conversations like we just had there. Give you guys the true nitty gritty about this sports gambling space, what it really is, not just throw you into the wolves and, hey, here you go. This is it. I see you later, alligator. But I also find it my duty to be a light, to spread some positivity. Peace, love, and positivity is what I'm always talking about. PLP all day long. You'll see the 2 P's. I'm always pushing P in my bio. bio. That's what it's all about. That is what those P's stand for. That is what I'm about. And if you do not like that, I'm sorry, do not follow me, because you will find that in everything I do. I had somebody in the space tell me I wasn't a positive force in the industry, but I beg to differ. I have no idea. Maybe scroll through some of my tweets. I don't know. Hopefully you're watching and hear me say this. Outside of that, you can also follow Talking the Line. That's where you can follow all my, it's kind of my general hub, my brand for everything. I just a place where I can put everything out at, talkingtheline.com. Got the Talking the Line pod here at 10 a.m. Central, about 15 minutes from now, 16. We'll go through the whole board, courtesy of our friends over at Wager Talk as well. We'll go through the whole board over there. We'll dish out special play. We'll talk about some stuff in between. Also have the Wise Words pod, dropped yesterday. It drops every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central. Yesterday was our third Volume 2 installment. We had Mr. Andrew McKinnis on back yesterday. Absolute electric show. We talked about NHL, UFC, absolute blast. It's always good when the young guns get together in the industry. We have some fun for sure. So check that out. That's on YouTube and all major podcast directories. If you want to check out like all of my additional content, my blogs, I'm working on my UFC blog today. I'll have that out on Friday. Like, I do all types of stuff. Just type in talkingtheline.com. You see it down there, and there's literally a tab for everything I do. Best bets, blogs, every single show, everything in between. So if you wouldn't mind hitting a like, hitting a follow, hitting a subscribe, I mean, hey, that's more than I can ask for, sharing your time with me. But then again, I can't tell you guys what to do, and I'm a goofball at the end of the day. So who am I? What do I know? I ain't shit yet. Thanks, Jeff.
Always a pleasure, and we will be definitely every Thursday, whether we sneak it in at 10 a.m. or we go to the normal time at 2 p.m. This young Energizer bunny from Wrigley Field, giving us the temperature of the Cubbies, of course, because it's baseball season. But we are getting closer to NBA playoffs, so we'll be talking Bulls and we'll be talking lots of stuff here. But today's all about MLB and opening day, and we are truly blessed to have you here. And you're not going anywhere. If I got to jump in a jet and fly out to the Windy City, get the GPS on your ass and make sure I track your ass down, we will. So again, blessed and honored to have you here. Let's cash some tickets. Let's have some fun today, boys and girls. It's baseball time. So with that said, if you are investing today and wagering, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number available. Myself and Colton care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Colton Sroka at Colt TTL Sports at Talking the Line. Everyone have a blessed day. Enjoy opening day. Have some fun. Cash some tickets, and we will see you soon.